Well, hello. It's Karen McDermott Rolfe, independent advisor with Creative Memories, and I'm back for my Technique Tuesday challenge. On the first Tuesday of every month, I present a new scrapbooking technique, and I challenge my croppers to use the technique to create a layout and to share a photo of their layout into my private group on Facebook for an entry into my monthly door prize drawing. You can find me on Facebook at Karen's Croppers. I also have a blog at karencrops.com where you will find lots of scrapbooking ideas. And I also appreciate all of your orders at creativememories.com/user/Karen, and it's Karen with a Y. And I also have my own customer rewards program where you can earn free gifts from me for your purchases. So let's get started with the technique for this month. I'm going to be working with the Endless Meadows collection. This is our new spring collection from Creative Memories that came out last month. It's a really beautiful collection. The papers are very tonal, very subtle, soft designs, and then the accompanying materials are just really, really lovely. Look at how pretty these stickers are. There's icons here of birds and butterflies, lots of greenery, some beautiful spring sayings, titles. They say birds and butterflies, flowers. Really lovely. There's 2 sticker packs with this collection. One of the sticker packs contains all border stickers, beautiful flowers, butterflies, sayings. There's also a bird border that I've already used. And then the embellishments are just as lovely. Again, more flowers, more greenery, more birds. Just really, really pretty. So for this layout, I'm going to use a sheet of dark green cardstock as my background. And then I'm going to use a few sheets of the Endless Meadows paper here. So I've already cut into the sheet here of green on green monochromatic fern patterned paper. On the back is a light green tonal pattern. There's a bird pattern here on this. Not really sure what color this is. It's kind of a mix between gold and orange. Really kind of pretty though. So there's birds on one side and then tonal on the other. A sheet of the gold flowers, again with the tonal on the back. And then I'm also using this sheet here, very tonal. Well, except on the back side has a lot of color, but we're going to be using this tonal side. So let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to use our 12-inch trimmer with some of the decorative blades. I'm going to be using the scallop blade and the scoring blade. Now you'll definitely need the scoring blade, but you could substitute the decal blade, the Victorian blade, the stamping blade, or the wave blade for the scallop blade. So you can choose any of those decorative blades. Or if you don't have a decorative blade, you could also use one of our older tearing tools and tear your edges instead of cutting them with the decorative edge, okay? So I'm going to insert this scallop blade into the blade housing unit on the trimmer, and I'm going to position it so the icon here, the labeling, faces to the left. And then I'm going to take my paper. Now I'm going to want to cut borders that I'm going to use horizontally, and I'm going to want the pattern here on this paper to run horizontal. So that means I'm going to put it in my trimmer so the pattern is vertical. And I'm just going to position it a little bit past that left dash cutting line on the cutting strip. And I'm going to cut a starter edge. And I want you to press down fairly hard when using these decorative blades because you only get one chance at cutting with them. Because if you don't cut all the way through, it's going to be very difficult to go back later and to match up the blade placing to recut it. So after we've cut one edge, we're going to turn it over on the back side, We're going to position it at 3 inches, nope, 3.5 inches, 3.5 inches there on the trimmer. And again, we're going to press fairly hard to cut another edge. We're going to insert the scoring blade now, and we're going to score. We're going to position the paper here so this first scalloped edge is at the 1/2 inch mark to the right of the cutting strip on the trimmer. So that's at a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to run it up and down a couple times to score it. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to do the same with the other edge, again lining it up at a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to score. Okay. So I've done that sheet. I'm going to go back to my scallop blade, again with the labeling facing left, and I'm going to use the bird paper. And now if you're going to be using this exact paper, look closely because there is a directional pattern on the birds. So I have all my birds in the upright position. I'm going to be using a horizontal border, so I'm going to turn it here vertically to cut. I'm going to cut a starter edge, and now I'm going to flip it over on the back side, position it at 3.5 inches, and cut again, and again pressing fairly hard to make sure I cut all the way through the first time. Again, I'm going to use the scoring blade, and I'm going to line these scallop edges at a 1/2 inch, score it a few times, turn it over, and position it at a 1/2 inch, and score again. And you're going to do the same thing with your green paper, and I've already done that here to make my video a little shorter. So while I'm finished, I'm going to put my straight blade back in right away. So that way it's loaded and ready with the straight blade. And I'm going to put these blades back so I don't misplace them. So we have our strips that are cut and scored. And you're going to take your repositional tape now, and we have them positioned so the pattern is up. And we're running tape all the way down these scalloped edges. So right in between the scallop edge and the score mark is where you're going to want to put the repositional tape here. And I am being fairly generous, as you can see with this, because I want them to lay nice and flat. And then I'm going to fold it over and adhere it down. And you can see with the scoring, it makes it so easy to do that folding. I get a nice straight edge, nice and crisp and clean. If you don't have the scoring blade, you could, try to fold it on your own there at the 1/2 inch mark. It'll be maybe a little challenging to get it folded exactly straight and nice. So I have my 3 strips here with my decorative edges. And I've also cut from this other tonal paper 2 strips that are 11.5 by 2 inches. And that reminds me I need to cut these borders to 11.5 inches. So I could stack them and cut them all at one time, or I can do it one by one. And I might just do it one by one to ensure that I have it lined up correctly, and they're the same, they end up the same size. Sometimes when you stack, you can get, if they're not totally stacked straight, you could end up with some that are a little bit different size. So now I'm going to lay out my pieces before I start taping them. And I thought I would do them in this order. I have the 2 tonal pieces at the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to start with the bird print, and then the flowers, and then the green print. The green border and the bird border are going to overlap a little bit with the tonal paper. And then these other strips are going to butt up right next to each other, nice and straight. So I think I can come up a little bit here. After I have them positioned fairly well, I'm going to go ahead and adhere them down. Again, I'm using the repositional tape in case I need to move them a smidge after I get them taped, or if I might tape them down a little crooked, I can reposition it later. When I'm taping, I'm leaving a 1/4 inch of the dark green cardstock showing on both sides and at the bottom. Do your best to get these first strips straight, because that's going to be the guideline for all of the rest of the strips. And I'm just going to overlap it a little bit. And again, leaving a 1/4 inch from the left and the right edges. And now my next strip, I'm just going to butt it up right next to the green strip. As close together as I can get it. I don't want any gaps. And then the same with the bird strip. And now I'm going to butt it right up. Whoop. I think I should adhere this top strip first. Let me just pull that up. And so again, I'm leaving that 1/4 inch edge from both sides and from the top. And now I can take this final border piece and I can overlap it with the top piece and butt it up to the flower piece. And when I'm sticking these down, I'm kind of getting them in place, but I didn't want to press on them too hard yet in case I needed to move them a little bit. But I think I have them lined up fairly good. This one looks to be off a little bit. Let's see, I'm gonna come over a smidge. There we go. And I think that means I'm gonna have to come over with this one too, a little bit. Looking for there it is. My multi-purpose tool will help me to lift this piece up. I think I got a little crooked here. I have more of a green edge showing on the left side than I do on the right, but I think once the layout's put together, I won't really notice it too much. So I'm just going to let it go for now, but I might tinker with it a little bit when I'm through here with the video. If you can see, this left side's a little wider than the right, so I might pull it all up and just scooch it all over a tad. But see, what you're going to want to do, you're just going to want to butt these up nice and tight together. And then we've got this really pretty decorative element that we created here in the center of our page. It's got the scalloped edges. So we have these frilly little edges, and then we have it folded up. So it looks as though, we've used 6 pieces of paper here for the middle. But in actuality, we've just used 3, but we're using both sides, the front and back, so with it turned up. So you're definitely going to want to choose papers that have patterns on both sides. Look for patterns that have a little bit of contrast between the front and the back. Like these are really nice here. This contrast, it'll help to show the scalloped edge a little bit. Like I said, if you don't have one of the decorative blades, try doing a torn edge and folding up a torn edge, because that will give it a nice ruffly look too. So let me show you what the layout looked like after I completed it. So isn't that pretty? It's just really beautiful with the Endless Spring materials. I added a bird border sticker here to the top. I have some photo mats. These are 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So that's 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then I took a variety mat. This was one mat that I cut apart into 2 segments. So I have the title up here, and I have a piece down here that's going to give me plenty of space to do some journaling about this layout. And then I added some cute little stickers, birds, and some greenery. This little leaf here is an embellishment. And then also the Endless Meadows embellishments have some pearl gemstones and also some epoxy gemstones. And I use the green pearls right here on it to add a little bit more decoration to the layout. So that's going to be really super lovely. And then I'm going to use my second page here to, create a double page layout out of it. And I'm going to be able to add some of my spring flowers to this really pretty layout. So I cannot wait to see all of your versions using this, I don't know what I want to call it, a folded decorative edge border. I'll come up with a name for it here when I put a title on my video. But play around with your decorative blades and you'll get this really pretty effect here to create a beautiful layout. And like I said, I can't wait to see your versions. So thanks so much for visiting with me today.